and welcome to LeoGaming. Wow, that intro video is really good. Although I've got to be honest with you, it don't seem as good as the second game though. I'm not sure about anybody else, but I just found that intro was good, but it weren't as good as the second. It just didn't feel like it had the pizzazz or the music made it really dramatic on the second one. This one just didn't feel as dramatic. So yeah, anyway, that's just my personal opinion on that intro. Still a good intro though. So this is a review of Call of Duty 3, the third Call of Duty in the COD franchise. This is set in obviously World War II, the year 1944, all around the Battle of Normandy. And during the single player campaign, you play British, American, Canadian and Polish soldiers, set over 14 missions. Obviously not as long as the second one, which was 27, but these 14 missions are slightly longer. So with the American, you're a man called Private Nichols of the 29th Infantry Division. With the British, you're Sergeant James Doyle of the SAS. The Canadian, you are Private Cole of the 4th Canadian Armoured Division. And on the Polish, you're Corporal Bohater Wojciech, I think that's right, a Sherman Firefly tank driver of the 1st Armoured Division. Now what I'm going to start off with the bugs in this game, because I'll be honest, there's a lot more bugs in this one than there was in the second. Why, I don't know. It's a lot more buggy. So for an example, I thought I was being clever, sneaking up to some Germans on a mortar site, and I thought I'll take a long shot with my rifle, and nothing happens. There was 3 of them. I kept shooting them, nothing was happening. Now, whether it's a bug, a glitch or not, I don't know, whether it's part of the game, but then one of my squad AI threw a grenade and shouted attack, and then when they saw me, then I could shoot them. So whether that's the game or whether that was just a glitch, I don't really know. And another example was I threw a grenade at a group of German soldiers, and one of them flew 20 foot in the air in slow-mo, really slow-mo, and then back down again in slow-mo. Also, I was stood there for about 45 seconds watching this German soldier go up and down. It was, I don't know, again, that's another glitch. And another one was I was inside a building and I shot a German soldier, and he shot up really quickly to the ceiling and then flew back down again. So there's a couple of little glitches there to do with shots. And obviously actually one more with shots is sometimes when you do shoot the Germans in the middle of an open battlefield, some shots don't register. You'll be sitting there shooting and some of them don't register. I really don't know why. Similar to the mortar example, they just don't seem to register. Whether you got to wait for a certain time, but this was in the middle of open, bullets flying everywhere, so whether it's still just the game being buggy or not, I don't really know, but that's what I noticed. To do with control, so the character movement is pretty much a little bit more fluid than the second game, although it can be a slight pain in the arse when you get a German soldier that comes out of nowhere and starts melee attacking you, and suddenly your movement becomes so slow, and all you get is a red screen popping up because he's constantly, they swing, like they're hitting you like 20 times a second. That's what it feels like anyway, and then it takes forever just to get around to actually shoot the German soldier or melee him back. Aiming is okay, a little bit slow when you're aiming down the sights. You're aiming down the sights, and to move to each German soldier, it's a little bit slow, so I put the aim assist on, to be honest, and it's a lot quicker, so I flick in and out of aiming down the sights, because when you flick out and then back in, it automatically goes to the nearest German soldier. I just find that easier. It's too slow to be aiming like it does. Moving on to weapons. Obviously you've got your usual Second World War weapons. You've got your various grenades, your stick grenades, your standard hand grenades. My weapon of choice is the rifle, purely because obviously you could do like one shot headshots. You get less of a magazine. You get like 5 rounds in a magazine or 8 rounds in a magazine, so you're reloading a bit more, but I just find it's a little bit easier to aim down the sights and do a headshot, and it's more accurate. Whereas a Sten rifle or any sort of machine gun just flies all over the place, and you can't even see whether you're hitting them or not, because the gun and the sort of the effect of the gun shooting covers the screen, so you can't actually see whether you've hit him or not, and that just does my head in. But what I do is when I'm in close quarters, like inside a building, I will use the Sten machine gun, and the rifle outside for long distance. So that's my weapons of choice anyway. The environment, this game has a lot more collapsible environment. Like for example, the buildings collapse. They seem to react more to the explosions and everything going off around, although they are scripted. For example, we was running through a building, and then the ceiling suddenly collapsed. It didn't collapse because, you know, we threw a grenade at it. It collapsed because the game says it has to collapse. It's a scripted moment, and that's what you get all the time around. You know, when a tank shoots a building, it actually collapses, but that's a scripted moment. It's not when you throw a grenade at the building, it suddenly collapses. And I'll be honest, the environment is a great looking environment for an old game. They're very realistically done and recreated in each setting. I mean, it's unlike going back to the collapse, you know, not like Battlefield where you can grenade launcher into a wall and that part of the wall will, you know, will fall apart, or the building will fall apart. This is all scripted in Call of Duty. So going on to the missions, you get various missions. You can be sitting at the top of a tank using your binoculars to try and point the tank towards the right direction to fire at the German enemies. You get to drive a Jeep, again a scripted moment. You are driving the Jeep freely, but it's a very linear path you've got to take. For example, you'll be driving through and you're coming up to a junction, and from one of the exits you'll get a tank blocking the way suddenly, and it's the same throughout. It's still fun, but it's just, you know, it's a very linear scripted mission, part of the missions. Obviously you get your usual taking out mortar enemy positions. You do get some sniper moments where they prompt you to pick up a sniper, and the same with the grenade launcher. You get prompted moments to pick up a grenade launcher and take out some panzers and some tanks, but mainly with the tanks you have to sort of run down and plant a detonator on it, or a bomb on it, which is, they changed this time on the third game. On the first one it just plonked onto it, but this time you've got to press a few buttons and reel the analog stick around, and it will sort of, it's like a scripted moment again, but it's like the modern day button press action prompt things that you get nowadays. I can't remember what you call them. Anyway, right, going back to the squad, going to the squad AI, my God, please, this game, the most annoying thing about this game that I lose the immersion the most is my squad AI. I would much rather do this on solo. Don't have any squad, like back in the old Medal of Honor, you know, the first two Medal of Honors on the PlayStation 1 days, where you were just one man taking out all the enemy. With this, the squad AI is absolutely piss poor. I mean, I was going up some stairs inside a building. I stood halfway up to shoot the enemy at the German soldier at the top. And one of my squad AI came up behind me and got stuck. Then I couldn't move. So I was trying to jump out, I was trying to move all over the place. Then I tried shooting him, because I thought if I shoot him, I can move. He'll move, you know, and then I just couldn't move. Eventually, after about 2 minutes, I managed to wiggle free. And then a lot of the times when I'm ducking into cover to try and shoot some German soldiers, my squad will end up running in front of me and blocking my view, and it does my head in. But one thing they do is they actually kill the enemies. Not like in modern day games where your squad won't actually kill any enemies. They sort of leave it for you, but they pretend they are. These actually kill the enemy. I mean, if you left them to it, they would kill every German in that level. I'm not even joking. But because a couple of times I actually felt like I had to rush ahead of them to actually get some shots on Germans and kill some German soldiers just to feel like I'm playing the game. So it's a bit of a catch-22 with the squad AI. Some bits it's good, some bits it's not. So yeah. So next we've got new features. So new features, you can now cook your grenades. That's what you get taught. So you can now cook your grenades. Basically that just means you can hold the throw button longer, and you get a little dial in front on the screen that times down, and obviously when you release it, it gets less time to, it'll explode quicker after leaving your hand. Obviously just be careful, because it can obviously blow up in your hand if you hold it too long. And this is also, I think they've done this obviously because when the Germans throw it back, so the German soldiers get less time to throw the grenade back at you, which sometimes they do. And this time, at the start of some missions, you do get choices on which path you want to take. They'll ask you, and basically the way you choose is you just run in the direction of that specific objective. And they'll ask you, for example, they'll say, we've got some mortar teams we need to take out over this side, or some tanks you want to take out over that side, and then you just run whichever one you want to do. It's not really, it is a choice, but you still got to do it all well anyway, so you have to do the other one afterwards anyway. But it's still a good addition. I mean, for back then, that was absolutely mind-blowing, because it was like, oh my god, I have a choice. In terms, right, so going on to sounds, again, these Call of Duty games, the musical score, absolutely fantastic. The sound effects, the bullets, the explosions, everything they do with these the Second World War sound effects is absolutely fantastic. To be honest, I've got nothing bad to say about that. That's one thing they do absolutely brilliantly. Your HUD, you've got the same compass as the second one, but with the star as your objective, obviously. You obviously, to be honest, I think they should do the compass, because it's really good, because obviously with the compass you get your squad leader that shouts things like, you know, German enemy attacking from the southeast. So you look at your compass and you've got to face southeast. They don't do that nowadays in games. It's all symbols on the screen, or a line on the ground that shows you which way to go. I mean, this is fantastic. And you literally, I mean, they wouldn't do that now. I mean, because nowadays, if you get the enemy, your squad AI shouting 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock, kids nowadays wouldn't have a clue. So I think they need to bring back that old compass, and you sort of find your own direction. I think that's absolutely brilliant. I mean, like I say, they're all silver, you know, they're all fed with a silver spoon nowadays. They're very dumbed down, these games. And obviously, you get your standard ammo and weapons. The amount of ammo you've got and weapons on the HUD also. So, you know, to be honest, it is a step up from the second one, bar all the bugs. Visually, it's still a great looking game, and it all still, you know, looks brilliant. But obviously, you can see it looks dated, because it is an old game, and it's on the old 360 and PS3 consoles. I mean, I bought the game for $11.99 from the Xbox store. I still think that's a bit steep, personally, for such an old game. But the problem is, it's Call of Duty, and with Call of Duty, when they're releasing a new one, all the previous ones I noticed go up in price. I mean, I actually got it on sale at $11.99. The actual cost is $14.99. So, I mean, I would give it a thumbs up to buy, but I would probably advise going out and buying the disc version, personally. Because you could probably get that for about £2.50 rather than download it. Like I say, I downloaded it online, and you have to pay the price of online, and the disc versions are obviously always like a fraction of the price. That's why I think, to be honest, disc will always last forever. But anyway, so yeah, I will give this game a thumbs up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and enjoy this video. Thank you very much. Goodbye.